cow, Dolphins fans, welcome to it. Thank you for checking out the program. If you come in here and want to say hi, the Dolphins just finished their game, and yes, they won. They won. Holy cow. I was worried there just for a little bit. I do want to apologize. I'm very sick. So if I cough or sneeze or, die during my stream, send help. Dolphins finished up their game and they ended up winning. The final score was 23-15 if you didn't watch it. There's some things to unpack here. I wanted to start out by saying the defense did not allow a touchdown the entire game. They allowed 5 field goals. Largely, Matt Stafford and the offense for the Rams was in disarray. They were moving the ball there in the second half pretty well. Didn't seem to matter. Defense got stops and slowed them down when they needed to, and kept the score low. So 23-15 is your final score. And I want to say in that second half, Miami scored on every possession they had, except for that last kneel down possession where they went to victory formation. So, like I said, there's some things to unpack. Let's go ahead and get into it a little bit here. We'll start off with a quarterback play for Miami. Tua Tagovailoa was 20 of 28 for 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also had a fumble that he lost. His rating was 89.4, so not a great game by Tua by any stretch. And I'm not going to pull any punches. Tua needed to play better, and I feel like if he did, we would have been in the 30s for points. That said, Tua moved the ball, and he took control of the offense and kept us scoring points. And that's what you need to do as a team that's trying to mount a pretty epic comeback from an abysmal start to the season. So Tua did well enough to keep the team moving forward and keep scoring points. And like I said, stat-wise, not a great game. He had an interception. And the interception was on him. And he had the fumble. I still can't, hate too much on him. The stats aren't absolutely horrible. And like I said, he did take a couple rough hits in this game. One time when he was trying to make a tackle on that interception play, and he got kneed in the helmet pretty hard. I was worried that he might have gotten concussed, but he ended up coming back and playing pretty decent there near the end of the game, especially the second half, played pretty well. Tyreek Hill got involved a little bit, so let's go through this real quick. Rushing yards. Rushing wasn't a strong point in this game, and like I said, run the ball. Well, it seems like the Rams were prepared for the run game. They had some stacks in the box, and they had some great defensive line play and middle linebacker play to stop the run most of the game. We only had 67 yards rushing. Devon Achane, 12 carries for 37 yards. That's only 3.1 per carry. Malik Washington had the 1 rushing touchdown. It was an 18-yard scramble that he had. It was a little flip from Tua to Malik in the backfield, and he took it to the house. That was like the third play of the game. It was a great play. I was all sorts of amped up after that. Everything else was pretty non-effective in the run game. Tyreek Hill had 2 carries for 11 yards. So, nothing great from the rushing game. Overall, it was a tough game for Miami to have on offense. They didn't just move the ball with ease, that's for sure. Tua did spread the ball out in this game. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers. Yeah, 8 different receivers. Jalen Waddle, 3 catches for 57 yards. Jonnu Smith, 3 catches for 45. Raheem Mostert, 2 for 34. Malik Washington had 1 catch for 17 yards. Odell Beckham Jr., 2 catches for 17, and one of those were huge in the fourth quarter. One of those catches by Odell Beckham, he kept that drive going, getting us into a decent field goal range where we could kick that last 50-yard field goal. That put us up 23-15, or 23-12 at that point. That was a huge play by Odell Beckham. Good to see him getting some quality performance, even though it wasn't a lot of yards. His catches were big. Tyreek Hill, 3 catches for 16 yards. One of them was a touchdown from the 1-yard line. Not a lot of yards, but like I said, he was there when we needed him for a touchdown pass. Devon Achane, five catches for 15. and Durham Smythe 1 for 6. So once again, offense was kind of, not anything great, but they did what they needed to do to win the game. That's for sure. Looking at the team stats for the offense, 15 first downs for the Dolphins, 20 for the Rams. Let's see, third down efficiency, 6 for 13 for Miami, and 3 for 12 for the Rams. Like I said, the defense played amazing. No fourth down conversions for either team. 68 plays for the Rams, 53 for the Dolphins. Usually we're on the other side of that, so it was kind of weird to see. Like I said, this was a weird game, but we got the win. That's the important thing. 11 drives for each team. 4.5 yards per play for Miami, 4.8 for the Rams. Passing, 171 yards passing officially, even though Tua had more passing yards than that. 257 for the Rams. Yards per pass, 5.5 for Miami, 5.1 for the Rams. Each team threw a pick. And I want to say, the tipped passes that Miami kept getting on Matt Stafford, that's game-changing stuff. Great play by Calais Campbell and Zach Sealer with all those tip passes. I think they each had 2 or 3. So, fantastic play by them. Neither team ran the ball well. 67 for Miami, like I said, 70 yards for the Rams. We had 22 carries, they had 18, so it's pretty close there for the passing, or for the rushing. Red zone possessions, this is huge. 2 of 3 for Miami, 0 for 3 for the Rams. Our defense stuck their nose in there and punched people in the mouth when they needed to stop drives. Well done, Miami Dolphins defense. Each team had 2 total turnovers. Each team had a fumble and an interception. So it wasn't, anything crazy. Time of possession was almost even. 29 minutes, 48 seconds for Miami. 30 minutes and 12 seconds for the Rams. So within 20 seconds of each other. It's a pretty close time of possession. And this was a pretty close game all the way through. So good on the Miami Dolphins for winning one where they needed to stand tall at the end there and put the team away. They did what they needed to do, and they did it, and they won. And that's what you need to see. Back to the box score, because I want to look at the defensive stats, because I want to talk to you guys about that. Our defense played very well today, and like I said, I'm very proud of them. They let them run the ball. They let the Rams run the ball, or move the ball down the field, but they stopped them when they needed to, and that's what you got to do. Jordan Brooks, 11 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Great play by Jordan. Great game by Jordan Brooks. Anthony Walker Jr. had a pass defended, had 3 solo tackles, and 9 total tackles. Wow, that's incredible. Great job by Anthony Walker. I think he also had the pick. Jordan Poyer, 7 tackles. Great play by Jordan Poyer. Kendall Fuller, 5 tackles and a tackle for a loss. Or 1 pass defended, rather. I'm sorry. Zach Sealer had 5 tackles, and it says that he had 1 tackle for a loss and a pass defended. He also had a QB hit, and like I said, he had 2 or 3 tip balls. And Calais Campbell as well. He had 3 tackles other than that, and one sack and 1 tackle for a loss. Javon Holland had a sack. Quentin Bell had a sack. And Chop Robinson had his 2nd sack of the season. Incredible, incredible. I'm so happy for him. It's nice to see him getting to the quarterback in back-to-back games now, so great for him. That's just going to build that confidence and let him keep going. Channing Tindall had a couple tackles. Emmanuel Ogbah had a couple tackles. Just great gameplay for our defense. Lots of tackles for loss, and that's what you like to see. 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 71 tackles. Great game for our defense. 6 QB hits. So 6 QB hits, 4 sacks for our defense. That's what we need, ladies and gentlemen. We need our defense to play like that every week. Fantastic. Yep. Anthony Walker got his interception. Malik Washington largely ineffective in the kick return game. It is what it is. Jason Sanders 3 for 3 for field goals. The longest of 50 at the end of the game there to put us up by 8. Put us up by 8. So it was a great play. Or 11 actually when that happened. It put us up by 11. So Great job, Jason Sanders. You'd love to see the perfect gameplay there. Like to see three field goals. I'm good with that as long as we make them. We're taking field goals. That's fine as long as we make the field goals. It was an interesting game. Tua was sacked 3 times. 3 sacks on Tua, and like I said, he did have that fumble, and he also had an interception. So let's get into some of this stuff here. I don't want to complain too much about Tua. I mean, no one's going to play perfect games every single time. It's not going to happen. Tom Brady didn't play perfect games every single time. He had games like this too. But the thing about it is even with those miscues and those things that he did where he kind of was, where it wasn't, what you want to see from Tua, at the end of it, what happened? He marched the team down the field, got us field goals when we needed them, got us touchdowns when we needed them, and he played well. So, he played well enough to win in this game particularly. Can you build on this? Absolutely. Is there plenty of things to look at and go, we need to get better? Yes, absolutely. I was frustrated at certain points in this game with Tua's play and with Jalen Waddle dropping that pass that would have been a touchdown. I'm sure of it. He could have turned that corner so easy. And I think that's why he dropped the ball, because he was looking off like, oh man, this is open in front of me. I can turn this for a touchdown. And there was a few plays like that. There was also a couple plays that didn't get picked off by the Rams defense that probably should have been. So Tua could have very easily wound up with 3 interceptions in this game. And I'm not saying that, he should have, because that's why you play the game. Sometimes passes get dropped. Sometimes things happen. And I'm glad they did, because Tua only finished with one interception and 1 touchdown. So he kind of saved himself there. Like I said, not a great game by Tua. Not a great game by our run play, or our running game. I feel like with what we were being given as an offensive team, an offensive unit, I feel like Mike McDaniel called a pretty decent game considering what we were being given. You can't just run the ball. I mean, you saw it. He kept trying to go to the run. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep him honest and keep trying to run the ball. And he did that. He kept trying to go there. Most of the time it just wasn't happening. It's because they were crashing on the line. They were crashing in there because they knew they were going to try to run. That's what happens when you have 4 games with over 150 yards in rushing. That's exactly what happens. You can't expect Mike McDaniel to continue to call runs when it's just not working. So Mike McDaniel had a pretty decent game calling the game. Not too many mistakes. There was a couple of miscues where we had to burn a couple timeouts early in the second half, and thank goodness it didn't end up burning us. But there was a couple times where we would have had a delay of game with getting things out on time. It seems like the defense for the Rams was giving the Dolphins fits in certain points here. So, like I said, sometimes you have these games where things like this happen. And I'm not going to sit here and complain about everything when, yeah, there are things that they could have done better, but there are also things that they did well considering what they had going on. They moved the ball when they needed to. And I can't tell you how many games I've watched where the Dolphins in the fourth quarter just cannot move the ball. This season especially. So, did they take a couple field goals at the end there? Yes. But every single possession in the fourth or the second half this game, the Dolphins put points on the board. And that's what you have to do to win. That's what you have to do to put teams away. How many times have we seen the victory formation from Miami this year? Not much. But we saw it tonight. And Dolphins fans, you need to be proud, be happy, be glad that we got the win here, and hope that we can move on to the Raiders, I think, are next, and hope that we can build off of this and put forth a better effort and a better performance next week against the Raiders, or this week, actually, it's Sunday. Hope that we can pull that off. Put a couple wins together, and we'll see what happens. But this was the first step. The first step in the 9-step program to getting our season back on track. We got the dub. And you guys need to be happy. Be glad that the Dolphins won this game. This was a primetime game. Miami is notorious, especially the last few years, about not necessarily performing well, but today we performed well enough to win the game. And that's what we need to be grateful for. Like I said, Matt Stafford played decent. We kept them in check. The defense played amazing. I'm not going to complain about 15 points from our defense. Holding them to that. No touchdowns, only field goals. That's great. I'm happy about that. I'm not going to complain about that. I have some complaints on offense, but we have a few days here to work on this, improve, and come out on Sunday and beat the Raiders. This was an away game on prime time. The Dolphins put up 23 points, and they won the game. Mark that a win. We're now at 3-6 in the AFC East, and after Master at Work and all his crap talk about Miami and being in last place, even though they hadn't even played their game yet, Miami is back in second place in the AFC East, and the New England Patriots are back in last place. So, Master at Work, I hope you enjoyed that for the few half a day that it was where the Patriots weren't in last place. Welcome back to the cellar, dude. Good grief. Sometimes I cannot stand that guy. So Miami's at 3-6. Buffalo is at 8-2 in first place. Like I said, I don't foresee us catching Buffalo unless Buffalo epically collapses. Like, unless Buffalo has an end of the season like the Dolphins have the last couple seasons. I'm not hoping for that. I'm hoping that we can win well enough and win enough games here to revive our season and make it to the playoffs. But first things first was winning this game, and we did that. Now, we focus and turn our attention to the Raiders. I'm going to have my usual preview of the Raiders game. I'm hoping to have that up Wednesday. It might not be Wednesday, it might be Thursday. Like I said, I'm feeling really, really sick. And it might take me an extra day or two to get that out, but I will have that out. And probably expect a bonus video somewhere in there or a live stream. We'll talk about some stuff. Might even be during the Thursday night game. We'll see. This was the first step, Dolphins fans. We won this game. We needed to win this game. Had to have it. We got it. Be happy. There's going to be plenty of Dolphins fans and people complaining about everything under the sun because that's what a lot of people only know how to do. I told you guys, I always do tell you that I'm going to be straight with you on these games. I'm going to tell you what was good, what was bad, but I'm not going to focus on the bad. I'm not going to do it. There's plenty of other YouTubers and websites that are going to do that. I'm trying to handle this all differently. And if that's more your cup of tea, subscribe, like, and give me a follow. Turn on that notification bell if you even would, and that way you'll know when I'm going live or when I put a video out. I am on the extreme west coast. I'm in Alaska, so when I put a video out, usually it's late at night like this, 11, 12, 1 o'clock on the East Coast. So turn that notification bell on and you'll get notifications when I put a new video out, and you'll be able to give it a watch. Thank you everybody for watching. Dolphins fans, I hope you have a great night, and I hope you have nothing but good dreams after this victory. It was hard fought. Our defense played fantastic. Our offense played well enough to win the game. That's the bottom line. We're 3-6, moving on to the Raiders. Fins up.